Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it is Monday, which means it is time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. This week I've got some more 50% off clearance from Barnes & Noble. That's right. I hopped in earlier than expected last week to show you some of the things I found and let you know that Barnes & Noble is having a 50% off clearance sale. And from everything that I've heard, this is going to run for as long as they have inventory. Now, not just regular inventory, we're talking about inventory of albums that they've had for approximately a year or more that they just want to clear out so they can make space for newer albums, things like that. So that's what's going on. From everything I've heard, they're not getting rid of the vinyl selections at their stores. They're just trying to get rid of old inventory to make way for new inventory. So that's what's going on. And if you've gone to your Barnes & Noble and haven't seen anything, by all means ask about it, because sometimes they aren't marking the albums as 50% off and they're sometimes thrown in. I hit two more Barnes & Noble stores last weekend and found that both of those stores actually had their 50% off vinyl in a separate section, whereas the first store I went to, they were interdispersed among all the other vinyl records. So it doesn't hurt to ask and see if they're running the sale. They should be, and then just kind of have to look around. The best thing I found is looking at what other people have bought from Barnes & Noble to see what titles are included, because there's a lot of titles included in this. And so I'm going to show you some more that I picked up. I did go back, like I said, and hit two more Barnes & Noble stores in my area to see what they had, and I came away with quite a few things that are pretty awesome. So we'll start here. Is Bob Dylan's Fallen Angels album. This is kind of cool. This is a take of Bob Dylan's on American Standards. So it's his kind of covers album of American Standards. I showed one that I got last time. It was Bob Dylan's In the Shadow of Night, and that was a bunch of Frank Sinatra covers. Now here's a bunch of American Standard covers. I had not heard this before, so it was a treat to listen to Bob Dylan's take on some of these classic American songs. So that's the first one I picked up. The second one I'm pretty excited about here. This is Paul McCartney's Flowers in the Dirt album. This is a 1989 release, and I had not heard this one before. I haven't really listened a whole lot to a lot of the newer, I don't even know if you call this new Paul McCartney, but the newer Paul McCartney. So was real excited to get this and spin this. It's a really good album. Fantastic. Now, I've only listened to the first disc of the series. This is a 2-disc deluxe set, and on the second disc are bonus audio and original demos. From what I've heard, there's some really cool demos on here that feature Elvis Costello and Paul McCartney. So I do need to spin that and listen to that, but looking forward to it. Great album though. The next one I found, this is pretty cool. This is a classic alternative rock band. This is 10,000 Maniacs, Natalie Merchant's band. This is their 1987 release here called In My Tribe. A really good album. Really enjoyed listening to this. I have it on CD, and I haven't really heard it in a long time, so fun to pick that up. Big fan of Bonnie Raitt, so I did pick up, this is one of her newest albums. I believe this is 2017. This is Dig In Deep, a real cool, good bluesy album from her. Just classic Bonnie Raitt, good stuff, love it. So happy to have this. This is also a 45 RPM edition of the album, 2LP. Let's see, this one I picked up. This is an album that, people give a lot of flack, and I don't understand really why. They're kind of a power pop rock band. It's not really pop, but it's more that people put them in a genre of like sellouts. I don't get it. This is Nickelback, Silver Side Up, an absolutely fantastic album. This album is what made the band real big, and they're huge. I mean, they sell out wherever they go, so people love to hate on them. I don't know if it's kind of the winger treatment, but I really enjoy these guys, and I know that their first 4 albums are absolutely fantastic. I haven't really heard a lot of their newer stuff. I do want to check some of it out though, but this is one of my favorites, Silver Side Up, so Nickelback, real fun to get that. Another one that was really cool is Kelly Clarkson, Piece by Piece. So I picked up another Kelly Clarkson in the last batch and saw this one for 50% off as well, and decided I needed to have this too, so I picked this up. It was really cool. Another good classic album from Kelly Clarkson. She's just her voice is so powerful, and I absolutely love it. So just enjoyed listening to this. I had not heard this album before, and I don't know if there was really a song on here that made a radio airplay. I don't listen to a lot of pop radio, so I'm not sure what is big there. I know that the last one I know is Stronger, from her Stronger album. That was a big hit for her. Otherwise, I haven't followed too much, but happy to have this in my collection. Love Kelly's voice. Next up is this one here. This is Trains, A Girl, a Bottle, and a Boat, an album I'd not heard before. This is from 2017. It was 16, I guess, 2016. And this was the last album to feature, well, the last album where the band was still featuring their regular guitarist, but he apparently didn't record anything on this album. He had left earlier in the year. He did do some promotional stuff for a song or two on this album, Play That Song, I think it was. He did do some promotional appearances to play that song on some things, but he had left the band and they replaced him on guitars, and the guitarist who is on this album is the one who replaced him in the band. So Train, A Girl, a Bottle, and a Boat. This is a decent album. It's more poppy than a lot of their earlier stuff, so I don't know, it's good. It's not classic Train though, so a little bummed about that, but still good to have. My Shania Twain collection. This is one that I've seen lots of times at the Barnes & Noble I go to, and so I finally decided to just pick it up for the 50% off sale. At my first Barnes & Noble, they had this there, but it wasn't marked 50% off, so I didn't know if it was. I left it there, but when I went to the next one, it was in the 50% off bins, so I picked it up and got it for, I think it was $10. So you can't pass that up. So this is Shania Twain, self-titled. It's nothing like what Shania Twain became after this album. These are mostly songs written by other people. I think she only has writing credit on one of the tunes on here, which sounds a lot more like a Shania song than any of the other ones. But her voice is still magical, and this is a fun album to listen to either way. Just not expecting to get much of the Shania we know, who became the country queen that she is. So very good stuff. Next up, I was super excited to see this in the 50% off clearance bin. This is one that has eluded me, and usually when I see it, it's a picture disc, which I don't want, but it's always super expensive. And this is no exception. This is marked regular price at $48. This is Star Wars The Force Awakens soundtrack. Double disc set, holograph on both records. If you were to turn side 2 on disc A, you get Millennium Falcon holographs, and if you turn to side 2 on disc B, I think it's like TIE fighters that are the holographs. So super awesome, super pumped to have this. I'm trying to get all the Star Wars soundtracks. I don't have a lot right now. I have Rogue One, I have Force Awakens, I have Last Jedi, I have the original Star Wars, but that's it. I'm trying to get the other ones too. They're really hard to get, and when you do find them, they're usually super expensive. So it's I like deals, so I don't usually pay the price they want for them. So trying to find them still. I'll find them eventually, but love John Williams' work, and especially in the Star Wars universe. All right, and the last one that I picked up was one that I've just never given a chance to because I just couldn't stand the cover art on this album, and I didn't really care for the lead single on this album, but since it was 50% off, I decided, what the heck, I'm going to give it a shot. This is Katy Perry, Witness. In all, it's a decent album. It's nothing to me like the previous albums that she's put out, especially when you go back to her first album and the Teenage Dream album. Those are the ones that I really enjoy. Prism was pretty good too. This one is not bad at all. It's actually a pretty good album, but I wouldn't rank it in my top of her albums. Teenage Dream will always be the album for me that was the defining one for Katy Perry, and the one I will go to more often than not. But it was decent. I picked it up. I decided to give it a chance, but that cover is just hideous. I don't understand why they went with the cover art that they did on this here. What kind of statement she was trying to make, but yeah, it's kind of freaky looking, and I always just didn't buy it because of it. But at 50% off, worth having in the collection to keep my Katy Perry collection as complete as I can. So here we go, Katy Perry. There you go. So that's a lot of albums, man. I mean, I went back and I spent another probably $150 on albums. Again, all Christmas money that I had. So, I mean, that's what it's meant for, right? They give you the money so you can spend it on what you want. And with Barnes & Noble, I was able to maximize what I got for the money that I was given, and super happy about that. They're still having the sale, guys. If you haven't made it to Barnes & Noble yet, fear not. There's still, from what I hear, lots of great selection available at Barnes & Noble's, and I believe they keep putting stuff out. It's all inventory that's been sitting there, so as they clear some of the shelves, they're putting more stuff out. So take a chance, go out to your Barnes & Noble, check it out. A lot of them will have that separate section for the 50% off. Take a look there. If not, they'll have stickers on a lot of the albums, and they've all been really good about allowing you to ask if an album that you're looking at is on the 50% off list. They will scan it for you and let you know. So very cool, awesome stuff. Check it out, Barnes & Noble. So there you go. There's my vinyl editions for this week. Other than that, didn't really buy a whole lot, so I guess I spent enough money, you could say, on these Barnes & Noble sales. So we'll see you next week for another vinyl editions. I know I have a couple things coming in, used records wise, and a couple new items that I bought for myself. If you are a fan of 8 Vinyl Low, Emma, I did use your $30 gift card that I won in your contest finally, so look for that next week, as that should be coming in the next day or two to here. So I will let you know what I bought with your $30. I'm super excited about it. So very cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time. If you like this, please hit the subscribe button below. Give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up really helps. And if you're new, like I said, hit that subscribe. Thanks for everyone for their support in 2019. I look forward to a fun and exciting 2020. Thanks again, and until next time, keep spinning, vinyl friends.